Have you ever wondered why, just as you're finally drifting into that sweet, peaceful sleep, you suddenly feel that familiar urge again? You open your eyes, it's dark, you glance at the clock. Maybe it's 1:27 a.m. Or maybe it's 3:04. You sigh. For the third or fourth time tonight, your body is telling you, get up, you need to pee. Sound familiar? Maybe it's you. Or maybe it's your mom, your dad, your spouse. You hear them shuffle to the bathroom night after night, barely steady on their feet, and you think, is this just what getting older looks like? You tell yourself it's normal. Everyone says it's normal. But deep down, something about it doesn't sit right. Let me ask you this. What if that nighttime bathroom trip wasn't just about a weak bladder? What if it wasn't just old age, like everyone says? What if I told you that getting up to pee at night might be a symptom, not just a nuisance, and the real issue is something you're doing every single day without even realizing it? You see, for many seniors, and for those who care about them, broken sleep feels like an unavoidable part of aging. But here's the truth most people don't know. Waking up to pee at night is not always normal. And in many cases, it's actually a signal that your body is struggling to maintain balance. You might think it's just water. I'll drink less before bed. Or it's probably just what happens at my age. But what if it's something deeper, something you can change? Because poor sleep isn't just tiring. It chips away at your memory. It slows down healing. It weakens your immune system. And for older adults, it can even increase the risk of falls, confusion, and depression. Think about that. If you, or someone you love, can't make it through the night without multiple bathroom trips, you deserve to know why. And more importantly, you deserve to know how to stop it. In this video, we're diving into the real reasons so many seniors wake up to pee, and no, it's not just about the bladder. I'll walk you through the surprising root cause, the biggest mistake many people make without even knowing it, and what you can do, starting tonight, to get longer, deeper, more restorative sleep. So get comfortable. Stay with me, because what you learn in the next few minutes could change how you sleep for the rest of your life. And hey, before we dive in, let me ask you to do something simple but important. Comment, "Sleep matters," if you've had enough of restless nights, or if you're caring for someone who deserves a better one. I read every comment, and I'd love to know your story. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button to join our thriving Oldies family, where we talk about real solutions for real people who believe that growing older should be about living better, not just getting by. Let's get into it. Let me tell you a quick story. Mr. Benson, 74 years old, retired engineer, proud grandfather of 7, sharp mind, kind eyes. Every night, like clockwork, he was up 3, sometimes 4 times to pee. He chalked it up to the usual signs of aging. "My bladder's just old," he used to joke with his wife. But inside, it was frustrating, tiring. It left him groggy in the mornings and irritable throughout the day. One afternoon, during a routine checkup, his doctor asked a simple question: "How's your sleep?" And that conversation opened a door Mr. Benson never expected. Because what his doctor explained wasn't about the bladder at all. It was about something deeper. You see, as we age, the body changes how it regulates fluid. One of the key players in this process is a hormone called antidiuretic hormone, or ADH for short. Think of it as the body's natural fluid manager. During the night, ADH signals the kidneys to slow down urine production, so you can rest peacefully. But in many older adults, especially after age 60 or 65, the production of ADH drops, especially at night. That means your kidneys keep working like it's the middle of the day. They don't slow down. And so your bladder fills faster, even when your body is supposed to be resting and restoring. So here's the thing. If you're waking up to pee once, twice, even more, it might not be your bladder's fault. It could be that your body isn't sending the right hormonal signals to conserve water overnight. And yet, how often do we blame the bladder? We say, "Oh, I just have a small bladder," or "This is just what happens when you're older." But that mindset can actually stop us from finding real solutions. Here's the truth. Waking up to pee doesn't have to be your new normal. Now, I'm not here to tell you to go diagnose yourself, but I am here to encourage you to get curious. The next time you see your doctor, ask about nocturnal polyuria. That's the technical term for excessive nighttime urination. And ask whether low nighttime ADH levels could be playing a role. You might also ask about fluid timing. Instead of drinking less water overall, which can cause its own problems like constipation and confusion, try adjusting when you hydrate. Front-load your fluids earlier in the day. Sip through the morning and early afternoon. Then taper off as evening approaches so you're not flooding your system right before bed. Simple adjustments, but they can make a massive difference. And here's something to remember. This isn't about deprivation. It's about rhythm, helping your body find its natural flow again, literally and figuratively. Because restful sleep isn't a luxury. It's not optional. It's the foundation of healing, of memory, of emotional stability. And Mr. Benson? Once he adjusted his fluid habits and got the right treatment, he started sleeping through the night more often. And the first morning he woke up without making a single trip to the bathroom. He said it felt like magic. But here's the real magic: awareness. And while hormone imbalance might be part of the issue, there's something even more common, something most of us do every single day, that's quietly wrecking our sleep. Let's talk about that next. Let's pause here for a moment. Have you ever watched someone you love, an aging parent, a spouse, maybe even yourself, shuffle slowly out of bed in the middle of the night? You hear the soft creak of the mattress, then the faint tap of bare feet on the floor, maybe the flicker of a bathroom light. And in that moment, you're holding your breath. Because they're unsteady. Because they're groggy. Because one wrong step could change everything. It's a quiet fear that lives in the background of so many families. That fear of a fall. That fear of confusion. That fear of losing the one we love to something that started out so small, like a nighttime trip to the bathroom. And I want you to know something. You are not alone in that fear. But more importantly, you are not powerless in it. Because while it may feel like aging is stealing away comfort and peace, it doesn't have to. What if I told you that just one small shift, one new habit, could bring relief? That's something as simple as elevating your legs for 20 minutes before bed, or drinking your last cup of water an hour earlier, or asking your doctor to review your evening medications. Could change everything? It's easy to feel overwhelmed, but it starts with one step. Just one. And here's something I want you to really hear. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing smarter. It's about becoming aware of how your body, or your loved one's body, is speaking and choosing to listen. You don't have to accept broken sleep as your new normal. You don't have to resign yourself to fatigue, so hold on to hope. Because this is not the end of the story. This is where rest begins. Let me tell you about James. He's 68. Worked as a school principal for over 3 decades. He's the kind of man who's always sharp with names, warm with kids, and never misses his morning crossword. But over the past year, James had been waking up exhausted, even though he was sleeping a full 7 or 8 hours a night. Or so he thought. What really got him thinking, though, wasn't the grogginess. It was the fact that he kept waking up to use the bathroom multiple times, even when he hadn't had much to drink. His wife, Marie, noticed something else. Every night, James would snore. Loudly. Sometimes he'd stop breathing for a few seconds, then suddenly gasp, like he was coming up for air. But he'd never remember. To him, it was just snoring. Harmless, annoying, normal. Except it wasn't normal. James wasn't waking up to pee because of an overactive bladder. He was waking up because his brain was being jolted awake, over and over, by a drop in oxygen. That drop was sending panic signals to his nervous system. And in response, his body was going into what we call a fight or flight state. Heart rate up, blood pressure up, and yes, bladder activation. Because when your brain thinks you're suffocating, even just slightly, it triggers a full body alarm. And one of the fastest ways your body lightens the load in that moment of stress, is by urging you to urinate. This is sleep apnea. And for many older adults, it flies completely under the radar. You don't have to be overweight. You don't have to feel short of breath during the day. And you don't even have to feel sleepy all the time. Sometimes the only red flag is that you keep waking up to pee. Let that sink in for a moment. Because if you, or someone you care about, snores loudly, or feels unusually tired in the morning, or has ever been told they stop breathing during sleep, it might be time to ask about a sleep study. Now I know that sounds clinical. You might be thinking, that's for people with serious problems. But here's the truth. Sleep apnea doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like a man in his 60s waking up 5 times a night, just trying to make it to the bathroom. It can be mild. It can be manageable. And the solutions are better than ever. There are tests you can do at home, yes, at home, to check your oxygen levels and sleep patterns. There are devices that can help open up your airway while you sleep. Some people even resolve their symptoms with small changes like sleeping on their side or slightly elevating the head of their bed. And the difference it can make? Life-changing. More energy, clearer thinking, better heart health, and most of all, fewer nighttime wake-ups. So if you're listening to this and something's clicking, if the snoring, the fatigue, or the bathroom trips sound familiar, please don't brush it off. Ask your doctor about sleep apnea. Not just for better sleep, but for a better, fuller, longer life. Because snoring isn't just noise. Sometimes it's a warning. Now, I know we've covered a lot already: hormones, hydration, circulation, breathing. But there's still one more piece of this puzzle. And it's one that sneaks into your routine quietly, every single night, without making a sound. Let's talk about that next. Let me introduce you to Mabel. 82 years old. Graceful, witty, the kind of woman who always had fresh flowers on her dining table and never forgot a birthday. She lived alone but was far from lonely. Her phone rang often, and her mind was sharp. But something had changed. Her nights had become broken. She was waking up more than ever, sometimes 2, 3, even 4 times, just to use the bathroom. And each time, she found herself wide awake for over an hour, tossing, turning, staring at the ceiling. At first, Mabel thought it was just her age. But then she started thinking back. What's different? She asked herself. And it hit her. A few months ago, her doctor had adjusted her blood pressure meds, told her to take a water pill, one of those medications that help the body get rid of excess salt and fluid. Mabel started taking it right after dinner. Seemed innocent enough. But that little shift made a big difference. Because that water pill? It's actually a diuretic, and one of its main jobs is to make the kidneys release fluid. So when Mabel took it in the evening, the medication tells you otherwise, you assume it's fine. But here's the thing. Timing matters. Even something as simple as a vitamin supplement or an herbal remedy can act like a diuretic. And if it's taken too late in the day, it could be quietly wrecking your sleep. So what can you do? First, don't stop taking your medication, especially not on your own. That's important. But do take a closer look at your medication schedule. Ask yourself, or your loved one, questions like, am I taking anything after dinner that makes me pee more? Did any of my medications recently change? Have I mentioned my nighttime bathroom trips to my doctor? Or did I just assume they were unrelated? Because here's what many people don't realize. Most diuretics and similar medications can be taken earlier in the day, sometimes in the morning or around lunchtime, without losing their effectiveness. Your doctor or pharmacist can help you review the list and make safe adjustments. It's a small conversation, but it could be the key to a peaceful night. And even non-diuretic meds can impact sleep indirectly. Some cause restlessness. Others increase thirst. Some even alter hormone levels or interfere with the natural sleep cycle. It's all connected. So, if you've tried changing your fluid intake, elevating your legs, addressing sleep issues, and you're still waking up, don't forget to look at your medications. Because often, the solution is right there on your nightstand. Now, let's zoom out for a moment. You've heard a lot of information today, and maybe some of it hit home. Maybe you're seeing your own routine or your parents in these stories. But now it's time to bring it all together, because knowing what causes these disruptions is just the beginning. Next, we're going to talk about what it feels like, emotionally, mentally, to live with this night after night. And more importantly, how to shift from worry into action. Let's go there now. Let's take a moment now, not to learn something new, but to really feel the weight of what we've just uncovered. Because behind every one of these nighttime bathroom trips is more than just a physical issue. It's emotional, it's exhausting, and for so many older adults, and the people who love them, it's quietly heartbreaking. You see, when someone wakes up 3 or 4 times a night, it's not just about an overactive bladder. It's about disruption. Disruption of their rest. Disruption of their safety. Disruption of their peace. And if you've ever sat up in bed listening to the shuffle of feet across a hallway in the dark, if you've ever flinched at the sound of a stumble or worried about a slippery bathroom tile, then you know exactly what I mean. You lie there, holding your breath. You wonder, will they make it back okay? Should I get up? What if they fall? And that fear, that quiet fear, becomes your bedtime routine. Or maybe it's you. Maybe you're the one waking up, frustrated, aching, half asleep, trying to keep your balance in the dark. Maybe you don't even remember what it feels like to sleep through the night anymore. And you've started to tell yourself, I guess this is just how it is now. But I want you to know something very important. It doesn't have to be this way. What if instead of that worry, instead of that nightly dance of doubt and fear, you or your loved one could make just one small change? What if a simple shift in when you drink water, or putting your feet up for 20 minutes before bed, or asking the doctor about that medication you take after dinner, could start to give you your nights back? Not a miracle, not a magic pill, just small, thoughtful adjustments. Because here's the truth, most of the things that interrupt sleep as we age aren't signs of failure. They're signs of missed alignment. The body wants to rest. It wants to heal. It wants to feel safe again. It just needs a little support to get there. So tonight, when the day winds down and the house gets quiet, take a moment. Check your routine. Look at the little details. Are you hydrating too late? Are your legs swelling? Is there a pill you always take at night, just because that's when it's convenient? It might seem small, but these small things, they're often the biggest keys to change. And if you're caring for someone, a parent, a partner, a grandparent, please know this. Your attention, your care, your concern, they matter more than words can say. Even watching this, right now, shows that you are already doing so much. Because aging doesn't mean surrendering to discomfort. It doesn't mean accepting broken nights or blurry mornings. It means adjusting, paying attention, giving grace, and knowing that even in these quiet struggles, there's still room for peace. There is still time for rest. There is still space for joy. The golden years? They don't have to be dim. With awareness, with compassion, and with a few intentional steps, they can still be golden, brighter than you ever imagined. And that journey, it starts tonight. So, let's take a quiet breath and bring everything we've learned together. Because if there's one thing I hope you take away from this, it's that nighttime urination isn't just part of aging. It's not something you, or your loved one, have to just live with. Let's recap what we've uncovered. Sometimes, it starts with the body not producing enough of that sleep-saving hormone, phage, so the kidneys don't slow down at night. That's not a bladder issue. That's a hormonal shift most people don't even know exists. Other times, it's the way we hydrate. We go all day without drinking, then flood the body at night, and then wonder why the bathroom calls at 2 a.m. That's timing, not overactive kidneys. Then there's fluid retention, swelling in the legs that moves up when we lie down. The bladder fills as the fluid returns to circulation. It's subtle, but powerful. And let's not forget sleep apnea, a condition that silently wakes up the body again and again through the night. You think it's just snoring, but your body thinks it's in danger, and that stress response triggers urination. Lastly, there's the issue of medication timing, especially diuretics or blood pressure pills taken in the evening. Often, it's not the medicine, it's just that it's being taken at the wrong time. Now let me ask you something from the heart. Have you, or someone you care about, struggled with this night after night? Have you felt frustrated, confused, or even defeated by these constant bathroom trips? Which of these stories or points resonated with you most? Was it the story of Mabel? Of James? Mr. Benson? I'd really love to know. Leave a comment down below. Even if it's just, "This is what I've been going through too." Because your story might help someone else feel seen. And sometimes, just knowing we're not alone makes all the difference. And if this video helped you see things a little more clearly, if it gave you a fresh perspective or even just a little peace of mind, please consider subscribing to Thriving Oldies. We're building something special here. A space for wisdom, for real conversations, and for guidance that respects the dignity and strength of aging. Because aging should never feel like a battle. It should feel like a journey, with rest stops, with laughter, with love, and yes, with sleep. So go ahead, click that subscribe button. Tap the bell too if you want to stay connected. You never know what small piece of information might change a life. And as we wrap up, I just want to say, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring, for yourself or for someone else. And thank you for choosing to be part of a movement that says growing older should mean growing better, not smaller. So until next time, stay rested, stay informed, and above all, stay thriving. I'll see you in the next one.